Hi, welcome back to God of Onions. I am Hiral Mehta, your host. After a short break, we are back with new, exciting interview with the most creative people that I'm sure you guys are intrigued about. So, if you guys are here, let me introduce myself. I am Hiral Mehta, your host. I am a contemporary artist and the owner of my brand House of Hiral, and your host and the founder of God of Onions. So, today we have the most amazing and creative people in the music industry, Rusha and Blizza. This week, we are really, honored to have them on our platform. And they are the most internationally acclaimed musician duo expressing their talent and love for music. Their EP Mudra was a massive hit amongst the population, and the music is perfect balance of Indian folk intervened with electronic in just the right way. Purush Kumar, Rusha, and Aman Khare Blizza have blessed the world of music with their sound, and we are so grateful to get the chance to interview them today. So, guys, let me add them to this live.
Hi, Porush. Hi, Aman. I'm so sorry. You guys are known as Rusha and Blizza, so it gets a little confusing because all of
I'm yeah, I'm Russia and he's Aman Blizza.
lovely. So, it's finally amazing seeing you guys live, face to face, and you don't know how amazed or excited I am to be interviewing y'all. And I really love your music. The EP Mudra, I think I keep listening to that whenever I work or whenever I just want to, just lose myself somewhere. I think it's very beautiful. I love it, and I'm a fan of you guys. So I'm really amazed to have you guys on my platform today.
It's an honor.
Amazing. So I'll start with my first question. So my first question to you guys is Indian classical music that has been remixed in is quite a new concept. What drew you to explore this genre?
So we were always producing more trap beats and experimental future house. So after a point of time, we realized that since we are in India, we are Indian musicians, we wanted to play around with Indian samples, Indian voices, work with Indian vocalists and artists. So that is how somewhere around 2018, we started exploring more Indian music, the Indian ethnic sounds, and then we started incorporating them into our own music, yes, own style, which is more trap,
Lovely.
future-based, experimental. So that is how this combination of the classical sounds with the future beats came about.
Wow, that's quite amazing. And I really love the mix of folk music which you all have with your music. And I think I had also listened to some music which had the Rajasthani folk in it. I think it was, it starts from C. I don't remember the name. Chomaso, the Chomaso song. Yes. Oh, that was amazing. I really love that music as well. Yes. So, I'll go to my next question then. How did you organize a way and collaborate your music so that you both like it?
Uh,
Sometimes I just came up with an idea, and maybe a small tiny piece of a track or a beat, something like that. Then I just sent to the chorus, and it was like
Yes, he bounces ideas off me. So, and then later on, we idealize. Sometimes we are traveling, so we do Zooms, we get on regular calls, but we connect almost every day and run ideas and strategize on what our next projects and releases will be like. Recently, we have been more focused on either producing albums or EPs. So we try to stick to one concept or one sound for every EP and then play around with it. So yes, working every single day, running ideas, and whenever we think of a new beat or a new sample, yeah, we just record it on the phone, we send it to each other. So yes, that's how we work. So we don't necessarily need to be in the studio all the time together to produce, as long as we are just sharing ideas openly and efficiently. I think it really works.
Oh, wow, I think that's quite amazing. Then I think during COVID, you all must have managed all of this the best way possible. I think that's
Indeed.
amazing. Yeah.
Yes, COVID gave us the most time to work on these projects. Actually, these last few EPs couldn't have come about if there was no lockdown, because that gave us a lot of time to work on these tracks, and that is how all these EPs actually culminated. And also, we are going to release a full-length album and another EP
Of EP
very soon.
Gudra too. Yes.
Yeah. So even those are complete. So now we are exploring our fifth EP in a short while. So now we are running ideas for that.
Oh, wow. Did I hear 50p?
Yes, we are about
Okay.
to release the fourth one next month.
Next month.
So that
Oh,
is ready. Then we have an album and a few singles, a few collaborations which are going to release. And finally, we will end up releasing another EP early next year. Yeah.
wow, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to listen to them. So, I think I'll go to my next question then. So my third question is, who is your target audience when you create your music and what inspires you to do so?
Our target audience when we create music, I won't really put this as a target audience. It is more, it's therapy for us, and it is the sounds that we really like and are inspired by, the artists we are inspired by.
Mr. Kamak.
Yes, Mr. Carmex of the world.
Okay.
So yes, so it is more of what we listen to and what we like, and we know that there is always going to be an audience and a market for similar music. So we just create what we like, and we really put it out there, and we hope it reaches to the right audience. So we are not targeting any certain audience, but we are just playing around, and as our music evolves, we just hope and we think that it might eventually reach to the right audience.
I'm sure, because if something inspires you, I'm sure that it inspires the audience. So I think that's the best way to go across because I think a lot of artists we know they get lost in between when they start creating and they start thinking that what if that person does not like it? Should we just alter it? But I think this is quite inspiring that you guys are doing something which you all love and, with your passion. I think people like us, we love your music a lot. So,
Thank you.
yeah, that's amazing. So, I'll go to my fourth question then. So, my fourth question is, the music industry in India is heavily dominated with songs from Bollywood movies. What pushed you to create independent music?
I think we have always been producing experimental, yes, and independent, and like Aman said, we wanted to create our own space. We are agnostic to, wherever our music is placed. It's not that we have anything against Bollywood music. Of course, once we feel that there is a right project to work on, we don't mind. But currently, we need to first create our own sound. We need to be sure about what our sound is. So that is why I think this process is necessary of us putting out different EPs, different albums, different music, and then zero in on what exactly our sound is and what we are most comfortable in. And obviously, it's constantly evolving, right? So, it's very difficult to really zero in on, a particular sound. But yes, Bollywood is still dominating the scene in India, but there is a huge upsurge in the underground scene with a lot of platforms, a lot of venues, a lot of artists who are coming up in the scene, and especially during the pandemic and post-pandemic. There has been a lot of digital consumption, and through that, people in their leisure time or being forced to stay inside have been able to explore more of the experimental artists and the underground artists. So I think that has really helped the scene. And once things have started opening up, I think it will now grow organically.
I'm sure, I'm sure. But looking at during this period, the way you guys have grown and with the way we guys love your music, I think it's just another level because you guys have already reached a certain amount of population who love your music. So I think that's very, very inspiring. So yeah, I think that's amazing, and I'm sure that I hope that we see you guys growing already, and I'm sure y'all are going to reach Bollywood as well very soon. So yeah, amazing, amazing. So I'll go to my fifth question now. Your music is extremely experimental as well. What methods do you go about to create it, and how do you know when you have found the right music?
Like our music, I would probably say it's all about the processing. Like Boris said, like a lot of sound designing in it. We always used to do like this.
Yes, so
Okay.
it's a lot of sound design. We like to use different digital instruments, different VSTs, different live instruments, layer some vocals on it, and try to create something unique. Yes, so the focus is that in every track there should be some kind of originality and some kind of sound design. So instead of just purely focusing on sampling and layering, we like to create and design something. And with every track, every EP, every project, that has always been our focus. Not that it is completely original; it's always inspired by a lot of contemporaries and artists that we look up to. But yes, that is always something that we desire to do in every project.
That's lovely. And maybe, while you all would be making your music, there would be a certain music or a certain beat which must be motivating you to actually add that to that music or, that certain energy or that vibe. Because, say, for example, when I listen to it, say, for example, when I heard EP Mudra, there was a certain beat which drops and, it starts again. I mean, it's so beautiful to hear that again and again. I think the first time when I had heard EP Mudra, I must have listened to it 3 times again and again because the vibe, the energy, and the way it flows when you listen to it, it's extremely beautiful. So I think that's amazing with what you guys have done with conceptualizing your music with the contemporary music, which all add electronic to it.
Yes, and
So,
you very rightly put it. We also tend to sometimes hear the music from the listener's perspective, and we, after some time, give it a gap and see if there is any retention to the music we have heard, or it still resonates with us a few days after creating the tracks and listening to them. So we do not release the music as soon as we create them. We try to give it a few weeks and keep on listening to it over and over again to see if it really hits the spot, right? And if it really resonates, if it's an earworm, it's not. If when we are going to sleep, it still
oh
reverberates
God.
inside our brain. So we tend to go through this exercise with us, with our close associates, with our friends, with our manager, and then we zero in on the tracks, right? Because like for every EP, we have multiple options. We create a lot more tracks than we release. So this is how then we decide on which are the final tracks.
Wow, I think that's a I mean, that's a lot of hard work and that's a lot of, I mean, as you said that, in when you sleep at night is something where you can just keep listening to that music. I think that must be really crazy. I'm sure that there's a lot which goes behind creating something so beautiful. and it must be really easy for the audience to listen. It must be very beautiful for the audience to listen to it, and very pleasant, you know. But to create it with how you have explained that, you know, it takes a lot of time. You actually send it to other people and ask them how they feel when they listen to the music. I think. Wow, that's commendable, and that's really beautiful. And I think a lot of artists go through that. So I think that's amazing. So I think after what you have said, and I would really love to know, though it's not in my questions, what are the challenges you both have faced, you know, reaching at this level? And also, apart from what you have said, what are the other challenges you all face while creating your music?
I think reaching to where we have reached, it's been a while, it's been over 10 years, right?
Oh,
So,
wow.
and again, we are just exploring the surface in the sense that, it's just started growing and it's been organically shared. So, of course, it's been a very difficult, project to manage and to reach the audience, but we wouldn't have it any other way because we never wanted very upfront marketing for our music in the sense that we really wanted the music to speak for itself, right? We don't want to be the products. We want the music to be the product. Again, nothing against anyone who puts themselves out there. It's just that who we are and what we are comfortable in. So we like being quiet and we like the music to do the talking. And that's just our persona and how we are. And that is what makes us happy, right? So we were never in a hurry. We always thought that if we put out quality, then eventually we will be able to reach the right target audience and the right number of people. And we hope if we keep on improving and we keep on putting out quality music, that more listeners join in and we are able to then cross the borders and then internationally as well. So yes, so that's what we have been doing.
I think you all have already gone international. I think both of you all are quite recognized amongst the population already. And I think, though, you know, while speaking to both of you all, you guys are so humble. And I'm sure that, you know, even though you all have done so much or reached where you all have reached and recognized by so many people, I think speaking to you all, while I'm interviewing you all, you guys are so humble. And I think that's something very commendable and very, very inspiring. So I'll go to my last question next. So, what was your initial experience starting out in the music industry, and what advice do you have for young entrepreneurs?
Mm, our initial experience starting out has been more just exploring a lot of sounds. We started out in the wild, wild west of SoundCloud. So,
Okay.
early like 2011, 12, 10. It was crazy, right? Like everyone was experimenting, everyone was putting out crazy beats, sound designing, putting out crazy sounds. So we spent a lot of time researching, listening to other artists. Yes, and everything which was different, we just automatically gravitated towards it. So everything which was experimental always drew our attention. So that is the school we came from, right? Just exploring these artists, creating new sounds, new genres being created right as we were involved in it, right? So through that, we were able to at least have a basic understanding of where we want to place ourselves and what kind of music we want to create. So instead of just following a trend, it was more about learning from so many other great artists and then creating our own unique sound, right? So that's what we are still working on. So that's why we are never swayed by what's hot in the industry or what is really right now trending on the charts, but rather, yes, we would rather be inspired by artists we think are honest to what they're doing and are creating honest music, right? And that is what we focus on. And I think that is what we'll continue focusing on. And I think
Wow.
for the artists, the up and coming artists, it's the same that just take a step back and try and first comprehend what kind of sound you want to create, listen to the right artist, because yes, again, it is just that instead of just following a trend, just try and focus on your own sound, your fundamentals, the basics, and also be inspired by the right people who have a long-term vision and who are solid, right? Instead of just following a trend which can dissipate the very next day. And right now, especially, when there is this complete lack of attention span and people have very short-term memories sometimes, a single reel can make a song viral, right? So instead of just copying
True,
that, tomorrow it can become stale. Just
true,
stay true to your fundamentals, stay true to what you're good at, instead of
true.
just trying to be trending all the time.
True, true, true. I totally agree with that. I think with the way you guys are going, I would like to add something to it. That firstly, it is it's basically a journey where us as artists, we tend to inspire, we tend to go for a journey which makes us find ourselves eventually. So that's what I can understand with the way y'all are creating your music. And secondly, just going behind something trending, as Parush said, that it is at a certain time you get lost there. And you know of course, when you're lost there, you would certainly want to get out of it. So I think that's very well said. So yeah, that's amazing. So as I am done with my last question, I would love to leave it to the audience to ask questions to Rusha and Blizza. So I'm sure that we had a lot of questions prior from a lot of people. So I would request you all to ask those questions again. And let me also see on the question section, what do we have? Okay. So Akaldeep asks favorite plunges and sample sounds, please.
Favorite plugins like Serum.
Plugin, sorry about my
Serum.
pronunciation.
Yes, Serum is
And
probably the favorite
we
plugin.
use our own sample pack. We created our own sample pack.
Yes, we have been working since we have been producing since 2009. We have our own library of sample packs that we have just gathered over the years. And the favorite plugin will be Serum for sure.
Okay, that's amazing. Now we'll go to our next question. There was one more which we had lost. Her name is Anu. I so resonate this. One second. Yes. So our next question from Simran Singh is, when is your next single coming out?
Next single, I think it will be more of an EP. So we are scheduled to release sometime mid or late next month. So we are already done, but after we are done with it, there's a lot of, we need to work on the album art, we need to work on the visualizers, we need to work on all the marketing strategy. So, that's why we give it a month after being ready with everything. So I think as soon as we are able to find a slot in the distribution network, then we'll be releasing our next EP, which will be 4 songs. And of course, there are a couple of collaborations we are working on, which we can't disclose right now. So those will also be released later this year.
That's amazing. So Gunjit says, big fan, guys, looking forward to the new EP.
Thank you.
Then we have, okay, a lot of people, they seem to be a fan of Mr. Aman, and a lot of people have been, instead of asking questions, they have been saying they are a big fan of Aman.
Thank
So
you.
I think a lot of people in the audience love. Awesome, good luck. So guys, do you all have any questions for Purush and Aman? We got one question. Okay, someone has asked your snatch for NFT collaboration.
NFT
I,
collaboration, maybe in the future, is actually something that we have not a great understanding of as of now. So,
it's something
again, we would
new.
like to first educate ourselves on how exactly it works. So, after that, I think we can explore that. I think Slow Cheetah is asking a question as well.
Yes. Slow Cheetah asks, when are you performing in Mumbai?
When are we performing in Mumbai? And also, Kasaya is asking when we are going on a tour. So, I think it's a
Tour.
combined question. So yeah, a lot of people and friends and our manager he's going to kill us any day now because are just not ready to perform. It's just that we have since been working on the music, right? We are working on the production. So since we have been out of performance since like 2015, so it takes a lot of effort and time to really get comfortable and used to the equipments and create the right playlist and the right sound. So it's just something that we need some time for. So I think after we are done with our major projects, especially our album,
Full album, right?
yes. So after that, I think we will have some breathing space. We will have some time in which we will prepare our sets. We will explore more artists. Again, it is also about listening to a lot of music, right? It's not that we just want to go out and play our own music. So we need to
True.
explore a lot, go back to our wild days of SoundCloud and like what we used to do back in 2012, 13, 14 and use a similar thought process, create playlists, and introduce new underground artists to our listeners. So I think it will take a couple of months.
Lovely. So, Kusaya Music asks thoughts of future of Asian underground.
Thoughts of
So,
future, yeah, for the Asian underground, right? So I think the yes, but for Asia, I think India is doing a lot, and South Asia is really coming up and being recognized. And I think even Indonesia, I've seen a lot of artists, who are using their ethnic instruments, ethnic sounds. So I think it is now this combination of sound design with your ethnic instruments, unexplored sounds. It gives a very haunting and fresh feel to the music, right? And the African music, the South American music, and some of the other regional music has already been explored, and it has been sometimes brought to the mainstream, right? And with South
lovely.
Indian music, it's always been very commercial, which was always in the mainstream. So I think it
Okay.
is a time of reckoning in which now more experimental music from South Asia is coming about, and people are really playing around with the electronic music with ethnic vocals and instruments. So I think this is now a turning point and the right time for it to also come to the mainstream instead of purely the commercial South Asian music, which
True.
everyone is usually being used to.
True. Amazing. Amazing. So I'll go to my next question asked from I'm sorry if I must have pronounced your name wrong, the Sudesh Gupta. From where can I learn music like you? Any good institute suggestion in Delhi or Mumbai?
Unfortunately, we have, it's been a long time we stopped learning music. Of course, we are learning every day by, working and also listening to other artists. But formerly, there was an institute called Fenders in Shahpur Jat in 2007, 8, 9. I used to go there, learn. So that's where I learned music. There was Mr. Chintan Kalra from Parikrama, who was my mentor back in the day. So that's where I started and first started producing music. So since then, we are not really aware of what's going on in the scene and with the music education scene and institutes. But I think currently there's also this option of this upsurge in online education on Zoom culture. So many startups who are promoting online education, right? So Now
Yeah.
everyone is like giving a lot of people are giving classes online and either to a group or individuals. So I think of course institutes are there, but also you can maybe always tune into your favorite artists and see where they are going. Maybe we might do it one day once we are ourselves educated enough about our own music. So once we have more time, we can explore, giving a couple of lessons ourselves.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I see that a lot of you guys, I mean, lot of the guys here, they are your fans. Wanderer Manan says, my favorite, you guys rock. Hi, Wanderer Manan, how are you? Then so many people, they are sending hearts and love, mad vibe. I think so. This Sudesh Gupta says that I think the college you all said is closed, and he asks, please do would love to learn from you.
Yeah.
So do you all teach or do you all
Not yet. Yes, not yet.
not
But
yet?
hopefully in the future, once we are, yeah, we can do a Twitch stream or something on Insta Live later on. But I think in a few months, just as there are so many projects which are always pending, and of course working on the live as well. So after
Lovely.
we are satisfied with where we are, I think then we will be able to give some classes, because again we need to add some value, right? We need to bring some value to the table. So unless until we are satisfied with what we are doing and with our sound, I don't think there will be enough inherent value in what we teach.
True, true, true. So see Ami Dhabia. Hi, Ami. How are you? Um, N3 in Dish, he says Rusha and Blizza, one of the best duos. I'm sure they are. Um, all right. So Sudesh Gupta, he asks us again, which DAW do you use?
Ableton FL12. We
Yes.
use both.
Yes, and sometimes for the vocals we even go for
Logic.
Logic. So yes, so we play around with our DAWs, with our DAWs, but mostly I think we spend time on FL Studio, on Fruity Loops, is where, because we started there, so we are always drawn back to it. It is considered more rudimentary, and people are sometimes surprised that that's how we design, but it's just something we are very familiar with. So that is what we always go back to. And sometimes, again, if we need to have something that only Ableton has, we might go to Ableton, or we think that the recording of the vocals is better with Logic, we'll go to Logic, and we'll keep on bouncing projects on each other. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So I'm going to keep this, I'm going to have only last two questions now. So there's a question from Chumkin. Are there any international projects going on?
Yeah, international projects in terms of music, collaborations, not yet. We have a few Indian collaborations going on, but in terms of the overall project collaboration, we are working on a video series with a dance troupe in Russia with choreographers, videographers. So we just concluded the shooting in Russia. So for our next album, there is going to be 5 videos. It's going to be a conceptual shoot with an entire story, with all the 5 videos being interconnected, very experimental sounds and very experimental videography, choreography, with a lot of great international talents and artists involved in it.
Lovely. And N3 Ndish asks, how about releasing your own sound packs?
Release, yeah, we could do that. We've never really thought about it till now. So thank you for bringing it to our notice. Yes, we do have a lot of samples around. It's just about collating it and then filtering through and seeing that what is something that others might be able to use. So yes, that's something we can also explore later on. So yeah, thank you for bringing it up.
Interesting. Thank you so much. So, Wandra Manan asks, would definitely love something Latin American like Major Lazer did a lot in earlier times.
Yes, we
What do
are
y'all
actually
think about
working.
it?
Yeah, we do incorporate some Latin American vibe to some of our music. So there was a track called Lele in which there were some baile elements into it.
Yeah.
And even in the next EP, there are some baile elements with a lot of sound design and layering. So you might like that. We have been a big fan of baile funk for years. Sango, an artist by selection, was one of our major inspirations. So we have been listening to him, and that's why there might be some influence here or there. You might hear in our music.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah,
Hello?
I'm there.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. No worries at all. So, I think that's amazing. And I think there's some network issue.
Yeah, I think that we are back. Can you see us?
I can't see y'all. I can hear y'all.
Okay, just a sec. Let me try and reconnect.
Sure. Hey guys, thank you so much. I see a lot of y'all loving Rusha and Blizza. Let me invite them again to this live. They went off because of the network issues we've had. Oh my God, there are so many questions.
I apologize. The network seems to be
No worries at all. No worries at all. I think there are so many questions now while,
yeah.
there's a certain time limit for lives, which is 1 hour. So, I'm generally, in the end of the live, I always get paranoid that, while a lot of, so, okay, I'm going to go ahead with those questions anyway. So, Suraj Shah, let me pin that comment. He asks, how do you make flute sounds interesting, like in Jethana, Mudra, and Kaka, please, sir? I am a big fan. I'm sorry.
Like lot of processing in it. Like we have like a one simple snapshot of a flute. Then we just figure out the
Yeah.
melodies and doing and resampling it. That's like a
Yes, running it through different processors. We
yeah.
then layer some vocals. We just record ourselves in
Now it's
different
not
tones.
actually a flute, but there like a lot of layers in it.
Yes, it's mostly synth and vocals.
Yeah.
What you sometimes hear as a flute, and of course inspired by the great Flume. Mostly, we are very honest about our inspirations. So yes, that is where it first came to our notice, and since then we have been working on that kind of a sound because we really like.
Lovely, lovely. So I think there have been a lot of questions, which I have missed. Um, I'm going to only ask relevant questions. Let me go back. Sound packs, yes, your production is too-notch. My go-to artist to reference my mixes. I'm not sure if I got that question, but if you
Yeah.
would have.
So that yes, your production is top notch, my go-to artist. Yes, that when he's mixing, he listens to music as a reference, which I'm not sure like how accurate that would be because we just do it by the ear. We do not yet rely on external, hardwares or studios or professionals. So it's just something, yeah, we digitally process it and whatever sounds right to us. So I'm happy that someone is actually using it as a reference point and, they think it is of that standard and quality.
Lovely, lovely. So I think I'm going to go with my last question now because we are running out of time as well. And, the live may end soon with the
Mhm.
time limit we have and, the listener preferences which we have as well. So, Mahajan Sarang asks, congratulations to all. I have one question. Is there any a course so that we can recommend to student to pursue in this field?
Yeah, for us, I think for music production, again, we have been here for a while. Like we are old now. We started off in 2009. So since then, we are not sure if there are any courses in music production. I'm sure there are, with a lot of the trap electronic producers giving the online courses. But we just had the trial and fail approach in which we just learn the softwares ourselves. We just listen to other artists, watch some tutorials, whatever was available online back in the day. There wasn't much, but now I think there is an abundance. We have not been referring to anything for a while because, we know what softwares, what processors, what DAWs we are using. But I think now there is an abundance, but of course it is always better to pursue a course and be strong in your fundamentals since now the cost has come down and also there is this accessibility and this ability of working remotely. In our time, it was all, personal, physical, right? So I think, sorry for not really recommending anything, but yes, I think it's a very good idea when you're starting off to take a course and be very strong in your fundamentals.
Okay, amazing. So I think I have got last two very relevant questions, which I'm going to go ahead with. And guys, after this, if you all have any questions, you all can surely ask me offline, and I will ask Rusha and Blizza, and I'll surely, get your query answered. So one relevant question is, on average, how much time do you take to make one song of yours?
Maybe a week or
Yes.
days.
Yeah, I think a week would be a good average because we bounce different versions of each other, right? So yes, I think it would be a
Amazing. And the last question from Jits JZ is, how do you get the dope Gujarat vocals? Vocal artists are not mentioned in your songs. Please let us know.
So how I think we bought some libraries, and sometimes even in the libraries they are not mentioned right after you buy them. So
True, true.
in some of the songs we did credit it on YouTube because once we released it we couldn't just edit the credits because it's already been distributed. So we sometimes our listeners bring it to our notice. We do go through this process of trying to ask friends in different regions of do you have any idea who sang this or composed this? But we don't have a wide enough network at a granular level in which we are able to get that feedback. But once it is brought to our notice, we do tend to, especially on YouTube, where we can edit the credits to credit the singers. Like there was Dhanvi Bai, who sang Kaka and Pashigunvan.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was
yeah,
amazing. Yes.
so we did credit her there, and it was after multiple people contacted us and we did our own research. Then we were sure that, okay, this is real, and then we ended up crediting. Because again, when you're buying sample packs, we also can't just, once it's brought to our notice who sang it, just end up crediting it without doing our
Amazing.
own research. Yes.
Amazing, amazing. So, guys, I'm going to stop taking questions now. Um, but we are really very excited and looking forward for your next EP being published soon. And even I can't wait, listening to your music very soon, which is going to be launching very soon, I believe. Would you all have a release date in mind?
No, we haven't decided.
Not
Not yet.
at the date, but like mid of next month or late next month, it should be released. So like 3 weeks
Lovely.
or 4 weeks at the most.
Amazing, amazing. So, okay, I would love to conclude now, looking at the time and as well as, it was amazing having you, Rusha and Aman Aka Blizza, having you on on my platform. It was quite inspiring having you all, and it was very inspiring for the audience as well. A lot of audiences over here with the way they are responding and engaging here. I'm sure that a lot of people over here are quite inspired from you guys. So thank you so much being a part of God of Onions. And I'm looking forward to your next EP live very soon. And thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this live.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you for everyone that tuned in. Thanks to everyone who showed so much love and motivated us, and also for all the questions. And it's a continuous learning process. We get to learn from the questions as well. And all the best to you and
Thank you
podcast.
so much,
And
Panush.
I hope you have great artists in the future who join your podcast, and we hope to join it in the future again. So it's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you so much. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Good day.
Bye.